Feel your heart race as you stand before a crowd. English words trapped in your throat, fear whispering, "You'll fail, I've lived that moment." At my first global workshop, I fumbled saying desert instead of dessert, my cheeks burning as laughter echoed. But a stranger's warm nod and soft "keep going" ignited a spark that changed me. That stumble wasn't my defeat. It was my dawn. Welcome to English Stories with Alex, where raw struggles weave into practical steps, turning fear into unshakable confidence. Have you ever stayed silent in a conversation, your thoughts caged by dread of a misspoken word? Perhaps you've yearned for a dream job, a worldwide friendship, or the courage to order coffee in English only to falter. This video unveils 3 powerful steps to speak boldly, starting now. Picture yourself 6 months from now, your words dancing freely, your voice a key to the world. That future begins with one brave leap. Before we dive in, drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Let's unite in this journey, transforming doubt into daring, one fearless word at a time. Part 1. My fearful beginning, the breakthrough moment. The journey to speaking English with confidence often begins in a moment of vulnerability where fear looms large, threatening to silence us. I'll never forget the day I stood at the front of a conference room, 50 pairs of eyes fixed on me, expecting me to deliver a presentation in English. My palms were clammy, my voice trembled, and halfway through I blanked on a crucial word. The silence felt eternal, my mind racing with panic. I stammered, piecing together broken sentences, certain I'd humiliated myself. But then as I faltered, a colleague leaned forward, smiled, and said, "You're doing great. Keep going." Those words were a lifeline pulling me from the depths of self-doubt. That moment wasn't my defeat. It was my awakening. It taught me that the fear of speaking English isn't a wall to cower behind, but a doorway to growth, one we must step through with courage. Fear is a universal companion for anyone learning to speak a new language. It whispers that our accents are too thick, our grammar too shaky, or our words too clumsy to be understood. I've felt it, and so have countless others. Perhaps you have hesitated to join a conversation, afraid of mispronouncing a word or being laughed at. Maybe you've stayed silent in a meeting because your brilliant ideas locked away because you doubted your English. If this resonates, know you're not alone. That knot in your stomach, that racing pulse, they're proof you're on the cusp of something transformative. Fear doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're daring to grow. And growth, like any meaningful pursuit, demands that we embrace discomfort. Consider how children learn to speak. They babble, stumble, and mispronounce words with reckless abandon. A toddler might call a dog a gog or string together nonsensical sentences, yet they never stop trying. They don't fear judgment. They're too busy exploring the magic of words. And through their mistakes, they learn. By the time they're 5, they're chattering fluently, their early errors forgotten. This is the blueprint for learning English. Mistakes aren't failures. They're the raw material of progress. Every misspoken word, every awkward pause is a stepping stone toward fluency. I once knew a friend who, while ordering at a restaurant, proudly asked for a dessert instead of a dessert. The waiter, unfazed, delivered a slice of cake with a warm smile. No one laughed. No one judged. Instead, my friend learned a lesson and laughed at himself, carrying that lightness into his next conversation. This is the truth we must hold on to. Most people don't mock our efforts, they admire our courage. I learned this firsthand after that conference room debacle. The fear of being judged had built a cage around my voice, but that colleague's encouragement cracked it open. I began to see that the harshest critic wasn't the audience, it was me. I'd been so consumed by the possibility of mistakes that I'd forgotten the power of simply trying. From that day, I vowed to reframe my fear. Instead of dreading errors, I started viewing them as proof I was learning, as badges of bravery. This shift in mindset was my first breakthrough, and it can be yours too. The world doesn't expect perfection from you. It celebrates your effort. When you speak English, even imperfectly, you're building bridges to new opportunities, new friendships, and new versions of yourselves. But how do we move past fear and start speaking? The answer lies in action. Small, deliberate steps that build confidence over time. You don't need to deliver a flawless speech or hold hour-long conversations right away. Begin where you are with something as simple as a single sentence. Try standing in front of a mirror and saying, "I love to read books," or "Today is a beautiful day." Feel the words on your tongue, hear your voice fill the room. It might feel strange at first, but that's the point. You're stretching beyond your comfort zone. Or narrate your day as you cook dinner. Now I'm chopping carrots. Next, I'll add them to the soup. These quiet moments of practice are where confidence takes root, where you teach yourself that your voice matters. To make this actionable, I challenge you to try the 5 sentences a day practice. Each morning, choose 5 simple English sentences. Things like, "I'm excited for today," or "My favorite food is pizza," and say them aloud. Say them to yourself, to a pet, or even to your reflection. If you're feeling bold, record yourself on your phone and listen back, not to critique, but to celebrate your effort. I met someone from Vietnam who took this challenge to heart. She was petrified of speaking English, convinced her accent was too heavy. But for 7 days, she spoke 5 sentences daily, starting with "I am strong" and ending with "I can do this." By the end of the week, she joined an online language exchange and held her first conversation in English. Her voice shook, but she glowed with pride. That's the power of starting small. Each word you speak chips away at fear, building a foundation for fluency. This challenge isn't about perfection, it's about momentum. You don't need to be ready or fluent to begin. Confidence doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment. It comes from acting despite uncertainty. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't see a tree overnight, but every day you water it, it grows stronger. Speaking English is the same. Each sentence you say, each mistake you make is water for your growth. The world is kinder than you think. People will cheer your efforts, not condemn your errors. So take that first step today. Say 1 sentence, feel the fear, but speak anyway. You're not just learning a language, you're claiming your place in a global conversation. Let this be your moment of breakthrough, the day you choose courage over silence. Part 2. The 4 tools that changed my English. Confidence in speaking English doesn't bloom overnight. It grows through deliberate daily practice, like a river carving its path through stone. The journey from fear to fluency is paved with small, intentional actions, tools that transform hesitation into boldness. These tools aren't complex or out of reach. They're simple, grounded practices that anyone can weave into their life. They helped me move from trembling silences to speaking with ease, and they can guide you to find your voice. Let's explore how to build that confidence step by step with strategies that are as practical as they are powerful. One of the most transformative tools I discovered is shadowing, a technique that lets you borrow the rhythm and soul of native speakers. Shadowing is simple. You listen to a native speaker and repeat their words immediately, mimicking their pronunciation, intonation, and flow. It's like dancing with language, letting its music guide your steps. I started with a podcast called The English We Speak from the BBC, pausing after each sentence to echo phrases like, "It's a piece of cake." At first, my tongue tripped over unfamiliar sounds, but with practice, those sounds became friends. I'll never forget the day I shadowed a line from Finding Nemo. "Just keep swimming," and accidentally blurted it out during a work meeting. The room laughed not at me, but with me, and I realized I was starting to sound natural. To try this, find a short clip, perhaps a scene from an animated movie like Toy Story or a YouTube channel like English Addict with Mr. Steve. Play a sentence, pause, and repeat it 5 times, focusing on the melody of the words. This isn't about perfection. It's about feeling English come alive in your mouth. Over time, your speech will flow with a confidence you didn't know you had. Another powerful practice is speaking to yourself, a quiet rebellion against fear. that builds courage in the safety of your own space. It sounds odd, I know, but it's like rehearsing for a play before stepping onto the stage. I began by narrating my mornings on brewing coffee. The sun is bright today, standing before a mirror. I watched my lips form the words, my expression softening with each sentence. It was a private sanctuary where mistakes didn't matter. To deepen this, I started recording myself, speaking for just a minute about my day or a favorite book. The first time I played it back, I cringed. I mispronounced thought as taught Endiek, but that discomfort was a gift. It showed me where to focus, and within weeks, my TH sounds sharpened, my pacing steadied. You can do this too. Record a short monologue on your phone, maybe describing a recent trip or a dream you have. Listen back not to judge, but to learn. Notice your progress. Celebrate your effort. Over time, you'll hear your voice grow steadier, your confidence rising like a tide. This practice is your canvas where you paint your growth in private before sharing it with the world. Finding a supportive companion can make this journey lighter, turning practice into connection. A kind friend, patient, teacher, or language partner can transform speaking from a chore into a joy. I found a study buddy through an online platform called Italki, a college student from Canada who was learning my native language. We'd meet on Zoom, swapping stories and stumbling through sentences, laughing at our mix-ups. There was no judgment, only encouragement, and those sessions became the highlight of my week. If you don't have someone nearby, explore language exchange communities like Tandem or Discord, where learners from around the globe connect to practice. One student I know, Maria from Brazil, joined a Discord group and was nervous to speak at first. But after a month of short chats, she led a group discussion in English, her smile radiant. Seek out these spaces where your efforts are met with warmth. Even a few minutes of conversation each day can dissolve fear, replacing it with a sense of belonging. Finally, weave English into the fabric of your daily life, making it as natural as breathing. This immersion doesn't require grand gestures, just small, joyful choices. Try labeling household items with their English names table on the dining table mirror, on the bathroom glass. It's a gentle reminder to think in English. Watch a favorite movie like The Princess Diaries without subtitles, letting the dialogue wash over you. If that's tough, use English subtitles to bridge the gap. I started singing along to Ed Sheeran's Shape of You, mangling the lyrics, but loving every second. It wasn't perfect, but it was fun, and that's what matters. At the grocery store, read product labels in English, whispering organic tomatoes to yourself. These moments root English in your routine, making speaking feel less like a task and more like a part of who you are. They're sparks that ignite confidence, showing you that English isn't just a skill, it's a doorway to a wider world. These tools, shadowing, speaking alone, finding companions, and living in English, are your scaffolding, supporting you as you build fluency. They don't demand hours of effort. A few minutes each day infused with curiosity and courage will carry you far. I think of a learner from India who started with these practices, shy and unsure. 6 months later, she presented a project in English to her team, her voice clear and proud. That transformation began with small steps, and yours can too. Pick one tool today, maybe shadowing a podcast or narrating your evening walk, and let it guide you. Each word you speak is a victory, a testament to your resilience. The path to confidence is yours to walk, one vibrant, imperfect step at a time. Part 3, the 30-day plan to speak confidently. Fluency in English isn't a sudden gift. It's a tapestry woven from countless small, deliberate threads of effort. Consistency, quiet, steadfast commitment to show up every day is the heartbeat of this journey. It's not about grand, exhausting bursts of study, but the gentle rhythm of daily practice that transforms hesitation into confidence, silence into eloquence. Like a river shaping a canyon over time, these small acts carve a path to mastery. My own journey from faltering words to fluid conversations was built on this truth, and it can guide you too. Let's explore how steady effort, a clear plan, and resilience in the face of doubt can unlock your potential to speak English with ease. I once believed that fluency required marathon study sessions cramming vocabulary late into the night, but I was wrong. Those efforts left me drained, my progress stalling. It wasn't until I embraced consistency that I saw real change. I committed to just 15 minutes each morning, reading a short article aloud from a site like BBC News. My voice wobbled at first, tripping over unfamiliar words, but each day it grew steadier. 3 months later, I stood before a room of colleagues delivering a presentation in English with a calm I'd never known. That transformation wasn't magic, it was the power of showing up day after day. Think of learning English like tending a garden. You don't flood a seedling with water once and expect it to bloom. You nurture it daily, and over time it flourishes. 10 minutes of practice, speaking, listening, or reading, can outshine sporadic hours, building a foundation that grows stronger with each effort. To make this tangible, I crafted a 30-day plan that turned my scattered attempts into a focused path. You can follow it too, starting wherever you are. In the first week, dedicate 10 minutes daily to speaking 5 simple sentences aloud like, "I'm learning English," or "Today feels hopeful." Pair this with listening to a podcast such as The English We Speak for 10 minutes, letting the words wash over you. Week 2 builds on this practice, shadowing 3 sentences from a movie like Zootopia, repeating them to capture the native rhythm and record a 1-minute monologue about your day. Listen back, not to critique, but to marvel at your courage. By week 3, step into conversation, join an online language exchange on platforms like Tandem, and chat for 10 minutes. Or read a page from a children's book like The Very Hungry Caterpillar, aloud to hone your flow. In the final week, push your boundaries, order a coffee in English. Ask a stranger for directions or describe a favorite memory for 5 minutes. To support you, I've created a free PDF 30-day Speak English challenge available in the description below. It's a roadmap to keep you steady each day, a step toward fluency. I met someone from India, Priya, who followed a similar plan. She was a software engineer, brilliant but shy, convinced her English wasn't good enough for her dream job at a global firm. She started small, whispering sentences to herself each morning. By week 4, she was chatting with a language partner from Australia, her laughter louder than her doubts. 6 months later, she aced an interview in English Landing, a role that changed her life. Priya's story isn't unique. It's the fruit of consistency. Each small effort, like a brushstroke on a canvas, builds a masterpiece over time. You don't need hours, you need commitment. Even 5 minutes of speaking or listening done daily compounds into confidence, turning dreams into reality. But consistency isn't always easy. There will be days when motivation fades, when life's demands crowd out your practice, or when progress feels invisible. I've faced those moments staring at a blank page, tempted to skip my 15 minutes. Once, after a string of exhausting work days, I nearly gave up, convinced I'd never sound fluent. But a memory stopped me. My mother's voice saying, "Every day is a fresh chance to try," that wisdom pulled me back. On those tough days, I learned to do less, but never nothing. If I couldn't speak, I'd listen to a song like Hey Jude by the Beatles humming along to keep English alive in my mind. You can do the same. When energy is low, play a podcast while cooking or repeat a single phrase like, "I am enough." These small acts keep the flame burning, reminding you that progress isn't linear. It's a spiral, always climbing upward. To stay on track, make consistency visible. Keep a journal noting what you practiced each day. 5 sentences spoken, a podcast episode heard, a conversation tried. Check off each task, letting the growing list fuel your drive, or use an app like Habitica to gamify your progress, turning practice into a quest. Celebrate small wins: the day you understand a movie scene without subtitles, the moment you say thank you with a perfect accent. These are your milestones, proof that you're moving forward. And be kind to yourself. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Some days you'll soar, others you'll stumble. Both are part of the dance. When doubt creeps in, remind yourself every word you speak, every minute you invest is shaping a future where English flows effortlessly from your lips. Consistency is your compass guiding you through the fog of fear and frustration. It's what carried me from broken sentences to confident conversations, and it's what will carry you to fluency. Priya's triumph, my own breakthroughs. They all began with a choice to show up even when it felt small. Start today with one sentence, one song, one moment of courage. The path may wind, but each step brings you closer to a version of yourself who speaks with ease, who connects with the world. You're not just learning English, you're claiming your voice. Keep going day by day and watch your confidence bloom. As we close this journey, let's hold on to the heart of what we've learned. Confidence in speaking English blooms from action, not perfection. Mistakes are not your enemy. They're proof you're daring to grow. Small, consistent steps. 5 sentences a day, a shadowed phrase, a brave conversation build a bridge to fluency. My own path was paved with stumbles from mixing up words to trembling before crowds, but each effort taught me that fear is a fleeting shadow dispelled by courage. I believe in you just as someone once believed in me. You don't need to be flawless. You need to be persistent. Every word you speak is a victory, a step toward a world where your voice resonates. Join the hashtag Speak English. Confidently challenge record. 5 sentences today. Share your video, and I'll repost the boldest on English stories with Alex. Subscribe and hit the bell for our next adventure, how to sound like a native speaker. This isn't just about English. It's about claiming your place in a global story. Speak today, even if your voice shakes. The world is waiting to hear you, and I'm cheering you on. Keep shining, keep speaking, keep growing.